When the dawn spilled its first light over the golden dunes of Dubai, the palace stood in its usual quiet dignity, its white domes catching the blush of the morning sun. But inside, the air carried the silence of absence. For the Falcon of Dubai, Sheikh Hamdan, the sky had shifted. The wind no longer carried her laughter. The corridors no longer echoed her steps. She had left, and though the world still called him the crown prince, the heart beneath his robe knew itself as something humbler, something rawer. A man touched by love and stripped by loss. He remembered the first time he saw her, beneath the shade of a palm, the desert sun weaving a halo in her hair. She was not only beautiful in the way poets describe beauty. She carried the kind of grace that made time hesitate. Her eyes were like an oasis to a weary traveler. Her voice the whisper of a rare breeze in the still heat of noon. To her, he was not just a title, not just a man whose name the city sang. She looked into him as though there were no walls, no gold, no crowns. Only the soul, and she touched it. They had walked under the silver light of the moon, their shadows threading together across the sand, speaking of dreams that belonged to the earth and the sky alike. He promised her that in the endless desert, she would never be lost. He would be her compass, her shelter, her horizon. She promised him that she would be the calm in his storms, the fire in his cold nights. And for a time, they kept those promises as faithfully as the sea keeps the shore. But love, even in palaces, is not immune to the winds of fate. It can be tested not only by distance but by silence, not only by storms but by the subtle cracks that appear when two hearts grow in different directions. He did not see it at first. He was too busy writing poems on the walls of her world, too busy bringing her pearls of the Gulf and roses from foreign gardens. And yet, somewhere in the spaces between their conversations, the distance began to bloom. It was not anger. It was not betrayal. It was the quiet realization that the same horizon they once shared now held different suns. The day she left was a morning like any other. The muezzin's call wrapped the city in prayer. The sky softened in pale blue. The falcons were already in flight. But inside, her absence was a wound. She did not leave with storms or farewells carved in sharp words. She left as the desert wind leaves, suddenly, without holding back, carrying with it the scent of yesterday and scattering it beyond the reach of his hands. He walked to the balcony that overlooked the Arabian Gulf. The water shimmered, unbothered by the grief in his chest. His poetry, once a stream of effortless verses, now felt like an empty well. The pen trembled in his fingers, not because he had nothing to say, but because the words that once belonged to we now belonged only to I. He thought of the way she used to watch the sunrise with him, her hand resting lightly on high.